good evening. My name is Letitia Griffin, and I am your certified credit counselor here to speak with you, talking about debt, budgets, all types of problems that people may be having with money. And I'm here with Family Credit Management. So now, if over the next few minutes or so, the next 25 minutes or so, I'll be here to answer any questions that you may have. Of course, we're going to be talking about a lot of different issues concerning finances, and problems that people are having lately that I wanted to talk to you about and share with you to make sure that you are on the right page. And if you do not get the opportunity to call in, because I know sometimes you have questions, but the purpose is to help you find the help that you need, right? And I'm here to do just that. So there's so many different resources that are available here, and I want to make sure that you know what they are. But most important one that I want to point out to you, of course, familycredit.org. This website is one that you should save if you have any questions at all. If you do not get the opportunity to call in and ask your question here, you can go to this website. You can chat online with a counselor. You can dial this number as well, 800-994-3328, and you can get the help you need. And that's the whole point, being able to put those resources right at your fingertips to help you get to help you get through whatever problems you may be facing. So we talk to you a lot about debt and finances, budgeting, and so we want to kick the season off just talking about, what everyone out there is talking about, of course, your credit report and your credit score. Now, over the past few weeks since we've been gone, I've had a lot of people reach out and talk about how they are working on handling their debt, how they're looking at trying to make things better on their credit report, and how they are just working their credit report to a lot of people say, I'm trying to get my credit in order. So I want you to be careful with that, though, because there are some things that you can do that will definitely help you get your credit together. But then there's some things that I want you to be careful of. So first, let's get started. When people are talking about how to fix their debt, a lot of people want to know what's the first thing that you need to do. And you can get the help out there. There are people that you can talk to. There are places that you can go. There are reputable companies out there that will help you with your credit, such as Family Credit, and they are there for a reason, and it's to help you take control of your debt and your finances. And that's what credit counselors are there to help you do. Now, they're not there to gouge you, to make your pockets bleed and everything like that. So those are the first things that I want to talk to you about. If you are looking to get help with your creditors, you want to know what you're getting yourselves into. You want to make sure that you research whatever avenue or company that you are, about to talk to. Looks like we've got our first caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Oh, hi. I have some medical bills. They're in collections, and they've been in there for about 5 years, and now they're calling me all the time, and I don't have money to pay them, honestly. Do I still have to pay them?
Well, if you have medical collections and they're that old, I do want to caution you that you still owe that debt. You're obligated to pay that debt. But is it something that you really need to do right now? Probably not. So you want to think about your goals when you're dealing with those types of bills too. And also you can definitely reach out to a credit counselor at Family Credit. They can offer you help with dealing with those medical bills. And when you're looking at trying to get your credit report together, this is the thing. If you're thinking about just how these medical bills affect your credit report, then if they're 5 years old, that may not be something that you want to tackle right now. They can wait because they've waited this long. Also, there's something called the statute of limitations, which gives a creditor time to collect on the debt. Now notice, our caller said that after 5 years, they're starting to call and harass her because the statute of limitations is running out on those debts, which means that after a while, the creditor cannot come back to you and try and collect on it. That doesn't mean that you do not owe it, but it means that, hey, enough time's passed, this debt's not going to be paid. Leave it alone, move on. And so what happens is this time here in Illinois, typically 7 years. So once it gets close to that, sometimes some of the creditors will get desperate. They will try and send your accounts out to collections because at this point, they just want anything that they can get. And most of the time, if they're this old, that debt has already been sold and resold and sold to somebody else. So the person that ends up with it, of course, they want to do something before that 7 years is up. And sometimes you'll see those creditors start to make noise. And so you want to be careful with that about knowing whether you should pay it or not. Now, when you're thinking about your credit report again, only what's on your credit report within the last 2 years affects your score. Everything else is there. Those words are still there. The collections are still there. The medical bills are still there. But do they matter into your score? Not really. And we see a lot of people that are in that situation with those medical bills that are saying, well, let me try and get some help with my credit because I know I owe people money. And I know I owe those collection agencies money. Something like that, you want to actually talk to a credit counselor or sit down yourself and look at those bills that you have. Look at your full, complete credit report and look at the date that those things have been put on your credit report, how long it's been since you made the last payment, and when they are expected to fall off. Because if you're looking at your credit report, there is a line on there that will tell you when those debts are set to fall off of your credit report. And that will determine whether you should pay them or not. If it's going to fall off in the next couple of months, the next couple of years, then I wouldn't worry about it. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't have to pay it again. Let's say it's a medical bill and you try and go back to that doctor may refuse service to you because you still owe them. So you're still liable for it. If you ever want to go to that doctor again, you do need to pay it. So it's just all in your goals, though. We'll talk about that as we go on with our show, too. Looks like we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, if I have a bad debt that's been on my credit for about 6 years, can the creditor at that point sell that debt to another company and it still impact my credit report after 7 years?
Okay, well, that is a very specific question, which you have to think about, like you said there. After the debt's about to be probably removed from your credit report, it's close to the statute of limitations running off, and the account was sold to another collection agency. Now, if you were to make a payment at that point to the new agency, that is kind of starting your time frame over again. So you do want to be careful about that. If someone else gets it, you know the statute of limitations is running out, don't do anything with it. And challenge that creditor if you want. You can dispute it and have them validate that debt. Sometimes by the time that's over, your statute of limitations may have run out anyway, but I wouldn't run out and pay it because as soon as you make that payment, that restarts that 7-year clock, and you don't want to do that. So that was a very good question that a lot of people struggle with because a lot of times by the time the debts get that old, and they don't even have to be that old, but when the creditors get that ruthless, when the creditors want to collect something on it. And remember, collection agencies, collectors that call you on the phone and harass you, they are paid by commission. They need to collect something on whatever debt you owe. And sometimes people end up paying for debts that they don't even owe because they're getting those harassing phone calls. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to go for help. So at that point, if you get any collection calls, any at all, you always want them to validate that debt. And that's an important step that a lot of people miss, especially depending on who you get on the phone. You could get someone ruthless that's yelling at you, that is cursing at you, or saying all types of things. They're going to have you arrested. They're just being belligerent on the phone. You want to have them validate that debt. Now, in their eyes, they think that their collection practices are going to work because what? The squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? You want to prove them wrong. They just need to validate that debt and prove that you actually owe them, because there's so many different things that can happen. It might not even be your debt, first of all. Also, you may have already paid it. It could have been with another lender, and there's so many different variables here, so you always want to ask them to validate. Now, you may ask, what does that term exactly mean when you have them validate the debt? All that means is they need to tell you where that debt came from, who they got it from, what was the balance when they got it, what was the balance when you opened the account, and can they prove that that account was yours? That's exactly what we mean by validating that debt. They need to make sure that that debt is actually yours before you pay it. And how can they do that? Best way for them to do it? Put it in writing and send it to you. Now, I always recommend when you have them send something to you, always give them your physical address. Do not give them emails, because sometimes you want to make sure that you get a timestamp. You want to make sure that they're dating the letter. You want to make sure that it's a legitimate business that is going to send you something, and you need something in your hand that you can even do some research on. You can look them up and see if they're valid or not. Anyone can make a fake email and send that to you as well. So you always want to look out for those people that are being ruthless, that are trying to collect, and that, are just making you feel like you need to pay them in order to get them off the phone. There's so many people that I've heard that have dealt with those issues, dealt with collection agencies, that have dealt with collectors like that. Which leads me to my next point. Why you want to make sure that you're careful with that type of thing is because there are so many different scams out there that affect us, that people fall victim to, and you want to make sure that if you're dealing with someone that's ruthless on the phone, that you aren't falling victim to a scam and they're taking your money. We'll talk about that in a sec. Right now we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, does paying on my collections help increase my credit score?
Ooh, that is a good question. Now, a lot of times people will think that if you pay all of your collection agencies off on your credit report, then it will improve your credit score. But that's not always the case, which is why you still want to get help with that. A lot of times, if you pay off an older collection, it may actually cause your score to decrease. But you still want to pay it. It's all about your goals, though, and knowing what you want to do, keeping in mind what your goals are. Let's say you want to get a house, and you go out and you look at your credit report. You've got a bunch of old collection on there, and you want to pay those all off. Well, if you pay off those collection agencies, all of those collection agencies, and there's nothing new on your credit report, then of course it's going to make your score fall. But now those collection agencies are gone. So it's like, okay, I know my score is going to fall after this, but I still, like, my financial obligation, my ethical obligation, everything in me is saying go ahead and pay those debts off. So that's what I'm going to do. But then you work to build up your credit report after that. So it might be a short-term loss paying off the older collections, but if you do what you need to do, take the right steps, making sure that you're establishing your credit, maintaining your credit, making things better for you, then yes, it will over time improve your credit score. And that's another thing that you want to be mindful of when you're looking at how do I make my credit better. Look at, what time frame are you trying to do things in, knowing how long it's going to take. And that's why a credit counselor can help with that. Again, Family Credit's website, familycredit.org, where you can go get the help that you need. You can ask questions on the chat feature and find out what the best alternatives are for you dealing with your debt, your finances, collection agencies, credit cards, everything like that. That's what Family Credit's there for. Looks like we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi. I currently don't have a credit score, and it seems like I can't get accepted for anything that I apply for. What is the best way to start to build a credit score?
Well, the best thing that you can do is to figure out what you are actually trying to do. Again, it all hinges on your goals. So you're looking to get your credit score. You're trying to establish credit. Some people say that you should run out and get a secured card, apply for any credit card, and those are some options that are out there too. But what I want you to do is think about what is it that you do every day. Who do you bank with? What do you need the credit card for as well? So you can look at what's called a secured card, or with the secured card, you will with the secure card, you can go online to bankrate.com or NerdWallet and find a secured card that works for you. But the reason why I want you to think about what you do every day, who you bank with, those types of things, because a lot of the banks, they do have secured cards as well. And that's a great place for you to go. If you already have an established relationship with the bank, you can go to your bank and say, hey, what do you have for me to help me build my credit? So a lot of banks have the secure cards, but then they also have credit rebuilding products as well. They've got this great loan out that's like a secured card, but it's a loan too. So I'll break the two down for you. With a secured card, you take whatever you want your credit limit to be. Let's say you want to do a $500 credit card limit. Then you need $500, and you need to take that $500 to your bank. Your bank will then put it in an account, interest-bearing account, and it will use that money as collateral and for backing of a regular credit card. So they'll send you a credit card. You'll make payments on it each and every single month. You'll have a $500 limit, and as long as you do not go over your credit limit and you make your payments on time, after a time frame of usually 6 months to a year, they will send you that deposit back that you put down for your card that you secured it with. And then that account becomes an unsecured card, just like a regular credit card. The great thing about that, though, is that during the time where you're making your payments and you're working on making this a regular credit card, it's reported to the credit bureaus. Number one thing you want to make sure of is that the account is reported to the credit bureaus, because that's the purpose of you getting it anyway. So that's what a secured card is. It's like a credit card. You're putting your money down for it. You're making payments on it. You're not overdrafting the account. You're making sure that the payments are not late. And then it begins to work for you like a regular credit card. After you've handled that for a while and you've done really good on it, I guarantee you will get other credit card offers in the mail. So you don't even have to worry about that. They'll start coming in. Now, a secured loan that the banks use to help you build up your credit card. You do the same thing, same premises. Let's say you take this $500, and this time they will put it in a CD account, which will draw interest on it, and they use that as security for a loan in that same amount. You make your payments on it each and every single month. But again, it is a loan. At the end of the terms, you will get the money that you will get the money, and you will get the interest that you've made on that account too. So those are two great products that are out there for you to establish credit. And so you think about that. You got your secured card, you got your loans that the banks will give to help you rebuild credit, and then you can just apply for a regular credit card as well. Keep in mind, there's some credit cards that are out there to help people that do not have credit or that have bad credit. Think about those. They come at a higher interest rate, and a lot of times they have higher fees too. But this is what you're using to get your feet wet. So keep in mind, you know that card is going to have like a 30% interest, but it's not something that's meant for you to use for a long time. You just want to establish yourself. Afterwards, once you're 6 months down the line, a year down the line, your score is going great, then you can get something else, and you can stop using that card as much as you have been and start using your newer cards at a lower interest rate as well. Looks like we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, I had a question. I'm struggling to pay my utilities. Do you have any places that I could go for assistance?
Okay, well, you are not alone. There are a lot of people that are struggling to pay their utilities. The first thing that you want to do, though, is keep in mind that you can always reach out to the utility companies when you are in trouble like that. Don't wait. It's always best to contact them as soon as you start to experience yourself getting behind, or you know you can't make that payment, because you don't know what they have that they can help you with as well. So some of the utility companies, they have programs where they will do what's called a sharing program, where people pay their utilities and they pay extra into a pot, where sometimes when there's someone in need, then they can draw from that pot to put towards your utility bills. So you can see if the utility companies have that available as well. You can also reach out and see if CETA or LIHEAP is available in the area to help with your utilities, with your NICOR, your Peoples, and your Peoples Gas, and your ComEd. Those resources are out there. And you can also contact the city to see what other resources are available as well. Again, you do want to stay in contact with your creditors. Anytime you fall behind or you think you're falling behind, you want to know what plan they have. There may be some things that they can help you with. They can possibly let you skip payments. And we can look at, later on, we're going to talk about budgeting over the next couple of weeks to help you so that you won't actually fall into that hole, so that you'll be better prepared when things like that happen. And when you feel like you can't make your payments, then we'll find those resources out there. But you'll be paid ahead, so it'll all work out. There's some things that you can do to get there though. But in the meantime, contact your utility companies, ask for assistance, let them know you're behind. Also, see if you can set up on a budget plan as well. Now, a lot of times they won't do the budget plan until your accounts are brought current, but they can help you find a plan to bring your accounts to a current status, and that's what you need to help to get out of the trouble, even if it's paying a little bit here and there. And some of the utility companies will take your past due balance and break it up into increments over the next 6 months to a year so that you can get back on track too. Of course, they need some good faith from you, so you do have to have something to give them to show them that you are serious, that you do want to pay it. You just need a little bit of help right now. And they know that things happen, so they do have the resources. They're able to help you, but you do need to reach out and let them know that you need that help. Again, we've been talking about just making sure that your credit score is good and things that you can do, handling the debt, reestablishing your credit or looking to establish credit. And you want to make sure, again, keep your eye on credit score. Credit score only looks at the last 24 months worth of history, even though we've got years and years worth of credit information there. As always, reach out to a counselor at Family Credit. Go to the website, familycredit.org, or dial a counselor at 800-994-3328. They are there. They're available to assist you and answer all of your questions. So until next week, we'll see you then. Come back with all of your questions, and we'll be back. Take care.